Everybody. Today we're going to do a crayon resist drawing, and hopefully you have something at home that you can use that is going to act kind of like paint. If you have watercolor paints, that's wonderful. You can also use the tissue paper that I'm going to show you that sort of leaks color out onto the paper. And what we want to do, if you feel pretty brave, you could draw something with a white crayon on your paper and it'll show up. It's really great. Whatever you draw in crayon on your paper is not going to be messed up by your paints. You don't have to stick to white, but I'm just going to draw a big letter A on each one of these papers here. And we're going to show that we're going to do the different methods here and walk through some of the things you can try at school or at home. This is a nice big A. To get a paint effect if you don't have paint or if you just want to experiment. So this one I'm going to do the A this way. Okay, just so that we are using the paper and showing the different methods. Now, if you have markers or watercolor paint at home, this is going to be pretty easy for you to do. If you like to use markers, you can spread it a little bit if you have water and a brush. And you don't need much water, but you need thick paper for this or a way to flatten your paper if it gets really wet and really wrinkled. So if you're using just regular paint, you just want to get your paper a little bit wet if you like that, and then go ahead and try your paints out. This is just my paint from Dollar Tree, and it does a really good job. And we can already see that A. And I can blend colors together. And with this thick paper, you're going to need to add a pretty good amount of paint, not as much on the water part. But you can blend colors together. Maybe I'll put in some blue and have my blue and my green blend in together. So it's a lot of fun to let this kind of happen with a white crayon, but it will work with any color. I'm just doing it with white so that you can see how your design kind of holds on to the paper with the wax from the crayon. Now, we're going to make a spider web today, but it can be any color that you want. And if you don't have paints, don't worry about it. You can still just color it in with colored pencil or crayon. That would be terrific so that you can get different colors in there. Now, this one, we're not going to fill the whole thing in, but we can do, this one kind of works a little bit like watercolor. So I'll put in some marker and just blend it a little bit. Now this is not washable marker. This is regular marker. So once you've created your design, you can try that out. Another thing you can do, if you want to get it across the entire paper, instead of just little spots like that, where it gets kind of made a mess, we did this on a plastic bag. And it was really great. I'm going to show you how to do that one. And then we're going to finish up using the tissue paper that I have for school. So what you want to do is find anything that is a plastic surface that isn't going to get soaked up by water. So make sure that if you're doing this at home that you ask your parents if it's okay. I'm just using a plastic bag. Probably a grocery bag would work very well. And then what we're going to do is just draw all over it with our markers. So let me move this out of the way. And I'm going to draw all over it in marker. So I'll put in some blue. It's a little hard to see, so you might want to have something underneath that can show it. Let me see if I have paper here so we can see what it looks like. And I'm just going to scribble a bunch of colors on here and not worry about trying to spread it with a paintbrush. So if you're doing this method, this is a lot of fun to do at home. But you want to get lots and lots and lots and lots of color on there. And the other thing that you're going to need in order to do this one without a brush is a spray bottle of water. Make sure that it's nothing that has a cleanser in it or anything that would be dangerous for you. But you You can line up all your colors and make it look interesting here. And what I want to do really quickly is I'm going to wet my paper down with water, not too much. So I'm not getting it straight on the paper, I'm just getting a good spray. And I'm using pretty thick paper and I can still see my A. And I want to spray it on the marker and make sure that I don't get it everywhere, but a good amount is terrific. I'm going to put my paper down and push and get all that color on there. And you might want to leave it alone and let it sit for a little bit so that you can get some really good, dark, richer color in there. But I just want to show you what this looks like. This is a fun thing to experiment with. You get some beautiful color changes. So wet is a good thing. Oh, it says cardstock on the paper. I probably wouldn't have seen that without the paint. But that's our second method. And then you want to have paper towels nearby in case you need them to clean up water spray. And make sure that you're not spreading color all over the place. So I'm going to go ahead and move this out of the way. And we're going to do our final method for the rest of the project.